Marth and Lucina are very similar. They have the same movement stats, hitboxes, and frame data. Despite this, they're ranked very differently on the tier list. In the official tier list, Marth is in C tier, while Lucina is in A tier. And it's not uncommon for players to rank Marth in bottom or low tier, and Lucina in S tier. In the previous installment, the two were placed 4 characters apart. So why is there a 28 character gap between the Echo Fighters now? They have the same stats and frame data, so their neutral plays largely the same. And they have identical options and disadvantage. With equally strong neutral and disadvantage, the only differentiator between the characters is combos, advantage, and killing. This is where the one real difference between the characters comes into play. You already know this, but Lucina's sword does consistent knockback and damage between all her hitboxes, while most of Marth's sword is a sour spot with a sweet spot at the tip. Lucina can hit the opponent with any point on her sword and get the same outcome, while Marth's options change depending on hitting a sour spot or tipper. Notice how I said change, not worsen. This is because both sour spots and tippers are vital to Marth's combo game, and good Marths are able to properly utilize both hitboxes to maximize damage and kill confirms. Still, it's common knowledge in the Ultimate community that while Marth may have flashy combos, spacing his tippers requires more precision compared to previous installments due to Ultimate's worse microspacing and a faster-paced game. This is why players frequently rank Marth as a low tier. He may have good neutral, but his damage output and kills are just too inconsistent. Competitors have preferred Lucina's simple but consistent damage output and low-effort kills. These competitors are also wrong. Marth is not inconsistent. Marth's damage is not inconsistent, and Marth's killing is not inconsistent. Marth's advantage state is substantially stronger than Lucina's. Typically, Lucina can hope for a 2-hitter and then the game resets to neutral. This is because Lucina's knockback is high enough to make continuing advantage state very difficult. On the other hand, Marth's sour spots are much better in this regard. The low knockback of sour spots keeps the opponent close to him, allowing Marth to continue to pressure the opponent and follow up on his previous hits, in ways Lucina often can't. These sour spots also have lower hit lag, making them more difficult to react to. Even if Marth accidentally lands a tipper instead of a sour spot, hey, that's still doing more damage than Lucina in that scenario. And that won't happen very often, as the spacing for sour spots is pretty linear. So while Lucina gets moderate damage before going back to neutral, Marth gets higher damage from combos, and then continues his advantage state, or occasionally settles for a high damage tipper that resets to neutral. Even when Marth isn't able to finish a combo or advantage state with a tipper, he still outdamages Lucina, because he's just landing more hits. And Marth is always able to keep the opponent guessing by mixing up between continuing a string with a sour spot, or going for a tipper for a finisher. The opponent is forced to make a decision in which direction to DI, while Marth can choose his next option. So, he can choose the optimal time to switch between a more neutral-based game plan like Lucina, or go for a strong combos when the opponent isn't expecting it. Marth's tipper hitboxes are also generally a frame safer on shield than Lucina's, and his sour spots are usually just as safe as hers. This allows him to keep up with developments in defense like footstool out of shield, which is increasingly becoming prevalent in today's meta. Okay, maybe Marth outdamages Lucina, but his ability to kill has always been inconsistent, even in melee. And that's true, but he actually kills more consistently than Lucina. And I'm not talking about his potential to kill more consistently with Lucina. I mean he consistently kills earlier than Lucina right now. In 2020, Marth made Lath compiled Marth and Lucina VODs and compared the average kill percents. There isn't a huge sample size, but it's still useful data. He found that Marth killed nearly 10% earlier on average and was only slightly less inconsistent. And this is largely based on pre-quarantine data. In a meta where success has been dependent on players extending their advantage state and capitalizing off of it with early kills, Lucina has massively fallen off. According to Easy Freezing, she has dropped 21 places in character usage in just the last year, barely maintaining meta relevancy. Lucina just doesn't really have that many great kill options. Other than Bear and Upbeat, she doesn't have much else. She can't even really tech chase with down tilt because DIing up basically nullifies the attack. Compare this to Marth, who has an abundance of kill confirms and setups. I won't go into detail here, but Smash University has a great video showcasing just some of his many kill confirms. You should honestly just pause this video right now and go watch theirs before you come back to really get a grasp of how many options Marth has to choose from when it comes to killing. Being able to choose between so many different options means Marth can threaten a kill at basically any percent, and you aren't forced to fish for one or two predictable options at higher percents. Even without going into Dancing Blade or Sour Spot aerials into Tipper F Smash, Marth's Tipper hitboxes kill much earlier than Lucina's attacks. While some are difficult to space, others like F Tilt are pretty easy to consistently land. Another example of this is Marth's Rising Nair, which essentially auto-spaces itself into landing Tipper, and can kill near ledge at 95% with good DI. His Sour Spot down tilt is also excellent at setting up tech chases at high percents. And with better microspacing ability in the ultimate player base, and movement tech like Slingshot, top Marth players have never been as good at getting kills as they are now. Marth is Lucina, but better. Marth has Lucina's insanely strong neutral, but is safer on shield. Marth trades in ease of use for more damaging combos, a better advantage state, and significantly more kill confirms, without sacrificing consistency. Even at the beginning of the game, Marth performed better in-game. Now, with improved microspacing, there is no excuse to place Marth lower than Lucina. Both the data and theory back up Marth as a stronger character. The only reason the results don't as well is his difficulty, making him only really solo main viable, compared to Lucina, who is so easy that her best rep uses her as a secondary. Marth has never really been the inconsistent low tier many make him out to be, and now he's in his strongest position ever. He may be more difficult to play, but his higher damage output and earlier kills make Marth a consistently stronger character than his Echo.